welcome to Kiran Design Studio. Today what we'll do is tea bags. We'll be making an art and what works and how to create an image on top of it as we work on your tea bag as a paper. So first of all, I would like to show you that I tend to dry my tea bags like that overnight, and while I'm drying, I just want you to know that you just flatten out the tea bag nicely so that the tea stains are evenly distributed and you get good marks on it. And after that, like this is nice and dry, so I'll pull the label out, gently separate it, and I'll take a pair of scissors so I've kept a small container because we don't want to be wasting anything, and all this will eventually end up in my garden. So there we are. The clip on this side and there. So, and from the middle one, because I like uneven edges, so gently tease it out along the line. Just do it gently, and even if it rips, don't worry about it. We get uneven edges, which are great. And you can also combine the tea bags and make it into different sizes like that. So just for the sample, I'm just using one whole tea bag. So it's just a miniature painting. Now to start, what we'll have is, because we are dealing with charcoal, so I would suggest wear old clothes. Newspaper on your workspace should be spread out, and your A3 sheet of paper. So what I've discovered here is, while making this image, this is from last week, that like I told you last week, that charcoal works very well, and it did on this. Acrylic pens work very well, and your watercolor pens also work very well on this. Your texture pens, this is like if you want your children to have a go at it, so even if they have texture pens, works brilliantly. Chalks, ordinary chalks, they work very well. Now I'm going to be making this image, and I'll be doing a smaller version of this image next to it on a tea bag. So in this, what I did was charcoal, watercolor pens. I'll take this tea bag which has been flattened, and watercolor inks also work very well, by the way. And I want you to have a look at all the materials which I've just put them together. So I've got my chalks, charcoal, white charcoal, and I've used these as well, in case I need it. Glue stick, a little bit of water, watercolor pen, fabric pen, your acrylic pen, and these are pencil charcoals. And this is it's an Indian watercolor ink, which also works brilliantly. And why I'm using this is because then you get lovely marks, and then this sheet gets ready for another work, and I can build up more on these marks. So that's just a little tip for your artwork. So I'm going to put it here. No, I'm not using any tape or anything, and I'm just going to go straight ahead and do it. So here we are. I'll use my watercolor pen and just draw my image. And while you're drawing and while you're working with your tea bag paper, you have to remember that tea bag paper, what I have found out is it's pretty tough. And it also can give beautiful transparent effects to your work. So there. And now I would like to use some chalk. So chalk needs to be dipped in water to be able to work effectively on your tea bag. And you can similarly try it on here by just rolling it around and see, yeah. And while I am here preparing, I'll just dip these and here we go. So like you can see, I'm just putting marks. And gently stretch the paper as you go. And then we see what happens. In any artwork, my personal suggestion is that try to keep your color palette minimized. Like you use 3 colors or 4 colors at the most, and make sure you have repeated your colors throughout your work. And it just creates a beautiful harmony within the picture. And if you feel that your chalk is not working well, just dip a little bit more in water. And you'll have to wait for your painting to dry before you glue it. So I'm just using the green to create a good forest effect. And I've also already decided from where my light is coming from. So I always like it from left to right. And let's try, yeah. And don't worry about that your tea bag will rip or anything, because it's very hardy, like I told you. It's a tough bag. There. And now comes my charcoal. Now in the charcoal you have a soft one, which is willow charcoal, and then this is the compressed one, which is the harder quality. And you also get your charcoal pencils. So if you are don't want it is less messy using the pencils. So if you want to use pencils, go ahead and use pencils. So here we are. So this is my darker area. So I'm just going over it. Even if I wet the charcoal, it's easy. So So we will be doing more series on tea bag art, where hopefully you'll be able to explore more of what all you are able to do with your tea bags after you have had your cup of tea. And I'm sure various brands would have different weight of the tea bag paper which they use. And now I'll use a bit of white on it. And again dipping the white in water so that it's gentler and it's easy just for the reflections, so that it's, and just remember that dip your charcoal in water, it just makes it easy. The flow is very gentle. Paper, we have got beautiful marks here. So there we are. So I'll leave it to dry. Our next step is this is nice and dry, and now we are going to glue it onto the paper. So there's my glue. So I'm just using ordinary glue stick, but you could try with other glues what effect it has. But with children, just this glue stick will work. So there we are. On it goes. And then I'm going to rip it. Why I'm ripping it, not cutting it, is because I like to get the uneven edges. And there. And these ones, I will keep them for later use. So here we are. Now this is hidden. So let's see if I can, get this bit off. And there we are. And just stick this down. Then comes your final play with this, is so that it does not stand out and it blends with the whole composition here. Right, we need water and we need, so I'm not going to use any more chalk because there's plenty there. So just to blend it with the entire painting. And then let your painting develop on its own and let the images come, and then you can work on those images and you'll notice some texture coming through. So let that happen. So why I'm doing this is so that the tea bag becomes part of the painting and it does not stand out on its own. Okay, if it rips, it rips. And some water. And you can also use a fine brush to even out the work. Again, I'm not worried about what looks like, what's happening. It's the marks we are making here. And this one needs a bit of glue. And I feel these are very easy works of art to be making and exploring for everyone. Right. Okay. This I've lost a little bit. I'm bringing out its shape. There. There, that's better. And now I see a line there and a line there. Just add to it. And some water. And you can also use an eraser if you want to. So I'm going back into the earlier one so that that also stands out a bit. Just making it stand out so that you don't lose the shape and it's the lines and the shape. Yep. And there's a bit of blending. And I don't know, I'm using, this is a blending eraser, so just use that, maybe dip it in water and okay. Okay. You can use your eraser for more shadings and bringing that little bit out. And it's a good idea to be turning your work around so that you get to know various angles of your work. So there we are. And let's not worry about this. Yeah. So there we are. So it's all ready and you could frame it or you could add some more, work more into it, add some more elements into it. I mean, there's no end to it. But I'm quite happy with having just 2 images and then leave, and I love what's happened here. And it just leave something for the imagination as well. So I'm quite happy with the result here, and I hope to see you all next Monday, and we'll be working with tea bags again, and we'll be dealing with drawings and watercolorings and all the water-based colors. So make sure you get if you have them lying around at your house, just bring them along. It could be just children's watercolors, doesn't matter. And we just get to see the process, what will work and how different each art material looks on a tea bag.